Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Vijay. And welcome back to the series of triceps exercise. So in this series, we are going to understand and analyze each and every exercise of triceps. So first exercise I took is dumbbell kickback. So let's start with the video. So now let us understand the anatomy first. So if you know the theoretical part properly, then it will be very helpful for you to understand the practical thing, and even it will be more helpful for you to perform the exercise in a proper way. So this is your triceps anatomy. The name itself says triceps you have three heads, that is long head, lateral head and the medial head. So here you can see the long head, lateral head, and this is the cross section. So here you can see the medial head of the triceps. These are the original insertion. You can take a screenshot and keep it with you for the reference. And before going to the performance or before going to the exercise, you should know the function of the muscle. That is very important. So function of the muscle or the action of the muscle is to extension of the elbow. So when you are extending your elbow, you are using your triceps muscle. Now we move on to the exercise, that is dumbbell kickback. Before learning these things, I was performing the dumbbell kickback like this, and after learning, I started performing like this. Now we'll discuss why I changed my exercise form from this to this. So for that, I'll be using a load and force diagram. So what actually load and force diagrams will say? It will show you like what is the force and where exactly the force and load is acting when you are performing a exercise. Okay. So this is the load and force diagram. It's a line diagram. This is a load and force diagram of a shoulder, an elbow, and the wrist joint. These two. This is before I learned the technique. Okay. Even I was performing the same thing. I was just holding the shoulder here and the elbow here. I'm not maintaining a 90 degree here. I'm just holding here and then I'm just doing this one. I was just doing this one. So what actually happening at this form is when you are here, the load is acting downwards. The load will always act downwards, and force is in this, you are creating a force in this direction. This is what happening. But when in this position also, the force is in direction only, and the load is acting downwards. That means force and load are not in a opposite direction. When these two are in opposite direction, then only whatever the force you are generating from the triceps, that is completely used to lift the load. Or you can say, to lift the load, whatever the load you are lifting, the complete load is taken from the triceps muscle only when the force is exactly opposite to the load. So what are the drawback of this? What I learned from this is the range of motion is less, and as I said, whatever the load I am carrying, I am not lifting the complete load with the triceps. Hardly, because it is going down. Hardly even I am involving my traps as well. If I am here, if I am performing like this, the load is in this direction. So probably I was using my the pressure was on my traps also. It's not only on my triceps. So that's why I started changing my form. Once I learned this technique, then I changed my form to this one. So what I did in this here is, so this is shoulder joint, elbow joint, and the wrist joint. So I started focusing on the form, and then I maintain a proper angle between the shoulder and the elbow. That means shoulder and elbow, these two joints, like these two from here to here, it should be parallel with the floor. Then when I am carrying a load here, so I am lifting the load from here to here. So that means what happens here, to understand the diagram, so when it is here, the load is down, the force is acting in this direction. So when I am taking it in this, when I am extending it, or when I perform the exercise in this direction, so what happening here is the load is acting down, the force is exactly opposite to the load. That means, so when I am here, the load is acting downwards and the force is acting upwards. That means whatever the load I am carrying is completely taken from the triceps muscle. If you are also the one who is performing the triceps extension with the heavier weight, like for example 10 kg, 12 kg, 15 kg, then I want you to try this form, the correct form, with the 2.5 or 5 kg. Now let's discuss how to make a muscle to mind connection. So here we'll come with a deadlink diagram. Okay, this is what I mentioned, the deadlink here. So why it was mentioned as a deadlink? Because when you are performing a tricep extension, there is nothing you are focusing here. Okay, because complete, the function action of the muscle and action of the triceps muscle is to extend the elbow. So if you are extending the elbow, there is nothing like this. So you just consider this as a metal rod. That means deadlink. So using this triceps to take this up. So that means this is a deadlink. Consider this as deadlink. Generate a force only from the triceps muscle so that the weight which you are carrying is coming up. So every time I will say there are two methods you can focus on. So okay, one is, so when you are doing it, so this is the correct form. When you are doing it, take it away from you or take it away from you. Okay, this is one method so that the stress on the joint is least. So when you are movementing here, when you are doing it here, instead of doing it away from you, instead of taking it away from you, if you are taking it up like this, the stress in the joint is more. So even though you have a stress in the triceps muscle, it is also working. You feel like it is working. Definitely it will work. But the thing is, the stress on the joint is also there. That should not be there. For that, what you have to do, instead of taking it up, so you should kick it away from you. So it's a kickback, so kick it away from you. Okay, it is going away from you. This is what one thing. So at that time you will engage only your triceps muscle. That is one thing. That is one thing, and then one more you can keep this in mind. This is a deadlink. You have nothing you don't have to do anything with this. Okay. So what you need to do for that? So you need to generate a force from triceps so that the weight which is carrying is coming up. As I always say, you can't control the weight which you are carrying. Okay. You can control only the muscle. Okay. Directly from your brain, from your mind to the financial signal will come to your triceps muscle. This triceps muscle is squeezing so that the elbow is extending. Okay, this is very important. You are squeezing the muscle so that the weight which you are carrying is coming up. This is a second method. Okay, you can focus these two. You can learn these two. First, try with that, taking away from you. Next, if you can focus properly, then you can make a vertebral connection and then squeeze the muscle so that the weight is coming up. Okay, this is how. This is what exactly a dumbbell kickback. So that is what I learned. This is actually a wrong, and this is actually the right way of doing a dumbbell kickback. And even in the next video, I am going to compare this dumbbell kickback with the cable kickbacks, and even I will explain you which is more effective. Is this is effective or that with a cable is effective? Okay, and after that video, you can share which exercise you want me to do a video on. You can just ping the exercise name in the comment section. I'll consider and I'll do the video on that exercise only, and that should be triceps exercise only. Okay, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys like this video. If you get any doubt, please watch it again, and if you get any doubt, please put it in the comment section, or you can even ping me in the Instagram. I'll give you the answer. So I'll meet you in the next video. Until then, stay fit, stay healthy, stay happy. Bye bye.